What if I told you there's a loophole inside your credit score, one the banks know about, one that directly affects your interest rates, your loan approvals, your ability to rent an apartment or buy a home? And almost nobody is talking about it. I'm Tara, and I'm a financial advisor. And today I'm going to show you exactly how your credit score is calculated, where the loophole lives, and, most importantly, how to use it to your advantage before the banks use it against you. If you have ever been denied a loan, offered a terrible interest rate, or felt like your credit score just doesn't reflect your actual financial behavior, this video is specifically for you. Stay until the end, because the most powerful part comes last. Let's start with what your credit score actually is, because most people think they understand it, but they're missing half the picture. The score most lenders use in the United States is your FICO score. It ranges from 300 to 850. Under 580, you're in the danger zone. Lenders either reject you or charge you punishing interest rates. 580 to 669 is fair, but you're still paying more than you should. 670 to 739 is good. 740 and above is where the best rates live. And 800 plus, that's the top tier, and more Americans are there than you'd think. Now, FICO isn't the only scoring model. There's also Vantage Score, which some lenders use, and the numbers can actually differ between the two even if all your information is identical. That inconsistency alone is something most people never realize. Here's how FICO breaks down your score. Payment history is 35%, the biggest single factor. Amounts owed is 30%. Length of credit history is 15. Credit mix is 10. New credit inquiries are 10. Every single one of these is a lever, and most people only know how to pull one of them. What the banks want you to focus on is the first two. Pay on time, don't carry too much debt. And yes, those matter enormously. But the loophole? It's hiding in the factors most people completely ignore, and that's exactly where we're going next. Here is the loophole. And I want you to listen to this carefully because it is one of the most misunderstood and most powerful tools in personal finance. It's called credit utilization, and it is the single fastest moving lever in your entire credit score. Credit utilization is the ratio of how much revolving credit you're using versus how much you have available. If your total credit limit across all cards is $10,000 and you're carrying $3,000 in balances, your utilization is 30%. That sounds fine, but here's what the banks are not advertising on their websites. The credit bureaus report your balance based on your statement closing date, not on when you pay. So even if you pay your card off in full every single month, if your statement closes when your balance is $2,800, the bureau sees $2,800. It looks like you're carrying debt. Your score reflects that. You paid in full. You did everything right, and your score still took a hit. This is the mechanic the banks never explain in their onboarding emails or their financial education pages. Because the higher your utilization appears, the riskier you look, and the more they can justify charging you an interest if you ever do need to borrow. Here's the fix, and it's so simple it almost feels like it can't be real. Pay your credit card balance, or pay it down significantly, before your statement closing date, not the due date. The closing date. These are two completely different dates, and most Americans have no idea. Log into your credit card account right now. Find the section that says Statement Closing Date or Billing Cycle End Date. That is the date the balance gets reported to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. If you pay before that date, even a day before, you can lower your reported utilization to near zero. Clients of mine have seen their scores jump 40 to 80 points in a single reporting cycle just by shifting when they pay. Not how much, not which debts, just when. Same income, same spending, same everything, just a different payment date. Now here's the layer inside the loophole that even financially savvy people get wrong. FICO doesn't just look at your total utilization across all cards. It also looks at the utilization on each individual card. So let's say you have two cards. Card A has a $5,000 limit and a $4,500 balance. That's 90% utilization on that card alone, which is brutal for your score. Card B has a $5,000 limit and a zero balance. Your overall utilization is 45%, which doesn't look great, but isn't catastrophic. But FICO is seeing a maxed out card, and that per card number is hurting you more than your blended total suggests. The strategy here isn't just to pay down debt overall, it's to specifically target the card that's closest to its limit first. And there's a second play here. If you have good standing with your card issuer, call them and request a credit limit increase on your lower utilization cards. More available credit, same balance, means lower utilization ratio. Banks offer credit limit increases all the time to good customers, and most people just never ask. One phone call, 5 minutes, potentially 20 to 30 points on your score. That's not speculation, that's the math of how the formula works. Now let's talk about the part of your score that most people damage without realizing it: hard inquiries. Every time you apply for a new credit card, a car loan, a mortgage, a personal loan, the lender pulls your credit. That pull leaves a mark. Each hard inquiry typically costs you between 5 and 10 points on your FICO score, and it stays on your report for 2 years. Though the scoring impact fades after about 12 months. That doesn't sound like much until you apply for 3 cards in 1 year and wonder why your score dropped 25 points when nothing else changed. Here's what most people don't know. Rate shopping for a mortgage or auto loan is treated differently by FICO. If you apply with multiple mortgage lenders within a 45-day window, all those inquiries are counted as just one inquiry. The system recognizes you're shopping for the best rate, not recklessly applying for new credit. So if you're about to finance a car or buy a home, do all your lender comparisons within that 45-day window. Get every quote you need. Compare rates aggressively. It will not cost you extra points on your score. Outside that window, every application is its own hit. The next factor, credit age, is one that most people damage by accident. Remember, 15% of your FICO score is based on the length of your credit history. Specifically, the average age of all your open accounts. So here's the mistake I see constantly. Someone pays off an old credit card they don't use anymore, which is a great financial move, and then they close the account to feel clean and debt-free, and their score drops 30 points and they have no idea why. When you close an old account, you remove it from your average age calculation. A card you've had for 12 years, even if it has a zero balance and you haven't used it in 2 years, is anchoring your credit age. The moment you close it, your average age drops, potentially by years, and your score drops with it. The rule: do not close old accounts unless there's a compelling reason, like an annual fee you genuinely can't justify. Otherwise, keep them open. Tuck the card in a drawer, put a small recurring charge on it, a $10 streaming subscription, and set it to autopay. The account stays active, your credit age stays intact, and your score stays protected. This one habit, keeping old accounts alive with a tiny automated charge, is one of the highest return, lowest effort credit strategies that exists. And almost nobody does it deliberately. Now here's one of the most underused credit building strategies in America, and it's completely legitimate, completely legal, and the banks definitely don't put it in their welcome brochures. It's called being added as an authorized user. If someone in your life, a parent, a spouse, a close family member, has a credit card with a long history, low utilization, and perfect payment record, and they add you as an authorized user on that account, their entire positive history on that card gets added to your credit file. You don't even have to use the card. You don't have to receive the physical card in the mail. The history just attaches to your file, and your score climbs, sometimes dramatically, within 1 or 2 billing cycles. Now, full transparency here because I'm your financial advisor, not a hype machine. This strategy works best when the primary cardholder has excellent habits. If they miss a payment or max the card out after adding you, that negative history also appears on your file. So choose the right person and have an honest conversation about it first. Before we wrap up, I have to talk about something that is holding millions of Americans back from a better score right now, and they have absolutely no idea. Errors on your credit report. A Federal Trade Commission study found that 1 in 5 Americans has an error on at least one of their 3 credit reports. 1 in 5. Accounts that aren't yours. Late payments that were actually paid on time. Debts that were discharged in bankruptcy still showing as active. Duplicate accounts. Wrong personal information that could be mixing your file with someone else's. Every single one of these can be disputed, for free, directly with the credit bureaus. Go to annualcreditreport.com. That is the only federally authorized site for free credit reports. You are entitled to 1 free report from each bureau, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, every year. Pull all 3. Read them line by line. Because the bureau is not doing that for you, if you find an error, file a dispute online with the bureau directly. Under federal law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they are required to investigate within 30 days. If the information can't be verified, it must be removed. Errors that are dragging your score down can be legally wiped, and your score can jump significantly overnight. Let me give you the full playbook before you go. 1. Pay your credit card balance before your statement closing date, not the due date. That is the single fastest way to lower your reported utilization and boost your score. 2. Target per card utilization, not just overall. The card closest to its limit is hurting you the most. Pay that one down first, then call and request a credit limit increase on your lower utilization cards. 3. Rate shop for mortgages and auto loans within a 45-day window. All inquiries in that window count as 1. Outside that window, every application is a separate hit. 4. Do not close old accounts. Keep them alive with a small auto-pay charge. Your credit age is an asset. Protect it. 5. If you have a trusted family member with excellent credit, ask to be added as an authorized user. Their history becomes your history, and your score climbs without you having to spend $1. And 6. Pull your credit reports from annualcreditreport.com today. Check all 3 bureaus. Dispute every error you find. You are legally protected in this process, and it costs you nothing. I'm Tara, your financial advisor. The credit system in the United States is complex by design, but it is not a black box. Once you understand the rules, you can play them to your advantage, just like the banks have always played them to theirs. If this video gave you one thing you didn't know before, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more videos on the financial systems that affect your real life, subscribe and hit the bell. I post every week on exactly this kind of content. I'll see you in the next one.